Okay, here's some examples of some exponential equations. Remember, an equation is an exponential equation if we have a variable in the exponent. And this is one of the main reasons why we still study logarithms, because it's the only way we can solve exponential equations. So here's an example, and I guess we should write the directions would be solve for x. So we want to find out what x equals. So usually when we see problems like this, we try to get the same base, and then if the bases are the same, then the exponents are the same, because it's one-to-one. Exponential functions are one-to-one functions. But in this case, we can't do that. We can't find a common base using 4 and 7. So we're kind of stuck, except what we could do is we could take the log or the natural log of both sides, and because logarithms, the logarithmic function is also one-to-one, then if these domain elements are the same, the range elements are the same, or putting them into the log function, if the left side equals the right side, then the log of the left will equal the log of the right. Now I can either use log or ln, because those are the two logarithms that appear in your calculators, and those are the easiest ones to deal with. It doesn't matter, so I usually use, unless I have a 10 in there, I can sometimes simplify log base 10 if I see tens or hundreds or thousands in there. But if I don't see anything like that, I just use ln because it's a little shorter. So I'm going to take the natural log of both sides. And the reason why we're going to do this is because we can use our rules of logarithms, the power rule, and bring that exponent down in front where we can get at it. So this is going to be the natural log of 7. So I just take the natural log of both sides, and now I have that. By remember the power rule, I can always put this in front. We can move the exponent in front, and this whole thing is the exponent, so we can put that in front. So we'll have 3x plus 1. Now it's a binomial, it's going to be times the natural log of 4. And here we just have the natural log of 7, so that's okay. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to solve for x, so we have to isolate the x, and it's in a parenthesis, so we've got to kind of free it from this. So what I'll do is I'll distribute, so I'll multiply 3x times the natural log of 4, then I'll multiply 1 times the natural log of 4. So 3x times the natural log of 4 will give me just that, 3x natural log of 4. And then if I multiply 1, I've got plus 1 times the natural log of 4. And that's going to equal just the natural log of 7. Okay, so we're getting closer. We want to solve for x. So we want to isolate the x, and if this is like an expression, these are like coefficients of x in one way or another, and this is like a additional term, so we usually subtract first. So what I'm going to do is I'll subtract natural log of 4 for both sides. And once I do that, put a little line under here if you want. On the left side, becomes a little bit easier. I've got 3x times the natural log of 4 on the left. And on the right side of the equation, I have the natural log of 7 minus the natural log of 4. I'm almost done. I want to isolate the x, and I've got 3 times x, and I got natural log of 4 times x. So these are both joined to the x by multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division, so what I'll do is I'll divide both sides by the 3 and the natural log of 4. And 3 over 3 is 1. The natural log of 4 over the natural log of 4 is 1, so what's left is just x. And that equals this expression over here. The natural log of 7 minus the natural log of 4, all divided by 3 times the natural log of 4. So there's your answer, and we call that calculator-ready form. So we're ready to put that in the calculator and see what we get. We'll get our calculator over here. Let me move this so you can see that. Okay. And we'll put this in. Now, remember when we're using fractions, you want to use parentheses because calculators are kind of fussy about that. So we'll put it on, then we'll put a parentheses over the, so we'll enclose the top. So we got natural log, so I just put ln, it's over here, natural log of 7 minus the natural log of 4. And then I need another parentheses for the tops because I had one in front. And that's going to be divided by, and then I'm going to put a parentheses around here so I divide by both the 3 and the natural log. If I don't put a parentheses, it might divide by 3 and then multiply by the natural log. So I'll put a parentheses and then 3 natural log of 4 again. And one more parentheses for the bottom, and then I just hit enter. And we get approximately, and we're going to round off, so that will be approximately 0.134. Now we got 455, so if we're rounding it off to 3 places, this is 5 or bigger, so I'd say 135. And there's your answer. So remember, when you're putting this in your calculator, you want to be careful with parentheses, so you want to put a parentheses around the numerator and a parentheses around the denominator. And that should make sure that it divides this by both these factors. If you don't have the parentheses, it will divide the top by 3, then it will multiply by natural log of 4, so you've got to be very careful. Okay? So take a look at that. You may have to, you can always go back, you can pause it, look at it again, and make sure it works for you.